Hello, good evening. My name is Didi and welcome to Small Sense Talk. So, today we're going to be talking about loving you. You know how hard it is in our environment and society of today? How we all find it very hard to love ourselves genuinely. Loving yourself is all about accepting who you are, loving yourself, accepting who you are, loving your person unconditionally without pretense, loving your strengths, loving your weakness, growing with them or growing from the weaknesses, strengthening the strengths that you have already, making them perfect, making them strong enough, to overcome certain situations that you find yourselves. Now, that person that you are is who you should love. Even the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself, meaning that for you to be able to love your neighbor, you must first of all love yourself. Now that's a royal, rule that we must live by. Because when you do not love yourself, when you do not accept yourself for who you are, for what you are, and try to grow yourself, try to make yourself better, you cannot love any other person. If you find fault in yourself, you will find fault in your neighbor. If you judge yourself, you will judge your neighbor. It's as simple as that. And that's why the world is going through a lot of violence, a lot of hate, racism, and so on. It's because we do not love ourselves, because we are so hard on ourselves, because we judge ourselves, and therefore it's only natural for us to meet the same treatment to the next person, to our neighbor, to our friends, to the stranger that walks on the streets. Now, the basis for good relationship is being able to love yourself. When you love yourself, you can have a good relationship with somebody else. You would not want to love, or you would not want to be in a relationship with somebody that does not appreciate his or herself, because you know that that person will not appreciate you. You would not want to be in a relationship with somebody who keeps on judging his or herself, knowing that that person will definitely judge you in whatever thing that you do. The person will never see it right or see it good. So loving yourself is like an essential part for your mental, physical, and spiritual health. The truth is, when you have self-love, you have a balanced, mental, physical, and spiritual health. You have a positive energy around you. You're always happy. You always see the positivity in everything. You always see, an opportunity in every situation. Negativity will never come your way, or you would never encourage or entertain negativity. So being able to love yourself, work on yourself, both your strength and your weakness. It's not vanity to love yourself, because it's simply a way of, creating sanity around you and around your environment. Because no matter what is going on around you, you just want to be positive. You just want to know what, despite negativity, despite whatever is going on, I'm going to try to make sure that I take care of myself. I surround myself with positivity. I am, positive in whatever I'm doing, in thinking. I won't allow anybody's negativity rub on me. I will try as much as possible, to make my neighbor feel comfortable, to be assured that whatsoever is going on is not about them. So also helping to boost the self-esteem of your neighbor. So it's authentic and it's not pretentious. Loving yourself is authentic. You don't pretend to be who you are not rather. You always want people to see you for who you really are. You don't want to pretend because you want people to accept you. No, that's not loving yourself. In fact, that's judging yourself. That's being hard on yourself. So you want to be authentic. You want to be real. You don't want to pretend. I'm not that person. I don't go to fancy restaurants. This is where I think I can afford. It's loving yourself. Because when you love yourself, you don't pretend to be who you are not. So loving yourself is being authentic, showing your real identity, and trying as much as possible, to grow from who you are to the next step. Because, one thing that kills people is when they are in one particular, stage, they feel comfortable in that stage. I feel at every stage you grow, you should go, or you get to, you should grow out of it. You should get to a higher stage. Get to a stage whereby you be a mentor. Someone appreciates who you are, whereby a person like sees you like, oh, I like the way that lady or that guy is. I like what she does, I like who she is, I like her behavior, the way she talks, and all that. Person wants to be like you. Be a mentor to somebody. So you can only be that when you appreciate who you really are. You're not pretending to be who you are not. That's another way of appreciating your person. It's not an easy thing in the world that we find ourselves, especially on social media, but I think it will go a long way if we are not allowed or pushed around by the bandwagon. But I'm sorry to rain on your parade, but the truth is, we have a lot of fake people out there. It's very possible that your best friend is fake. And that's not because she really wants to be fake, but because he or she doesn't actually love him or herself the way they should. They want to live a life that they think people will accept or that is acceptable. But that's not how life should be. The truth is, love, it also accepts and creates, standards, boundaries. Self-love, with self-love, you always want to create standards. You have your standard and you don't want to, move away from or deviate from. And every other person who accepts you, who loves you, will want to live by that standard. They know what you like. They know the kind of person that you are, what you will accept. And this is very, very vital in building positive relationship with people. I mean, even God even knows that love is true. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8, I guess, love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it does not boast, it's not proud, it does not dishonor, it's not self-seeking, it's not selfish, it's not easily angered, it doesn't keep records of wrongdoings, it protects, it trusts, it hopes, it never fails. I mean, it's love is something very special, and that's why you should love yourself. If you can abide with these things, if you can know these things and do these things, then it means that you can love yourself. And when you can love yourself, you can love your neighbor. True love seeks to grow. And so when you love yourself, you want to grow. You want something better. You don't want to settle. Because you know that when you wish something good for yourself, you wish something good for your neighbor, for the next person. So self-love is very, very vital for our spiritual growth, our physical growth, our social growth, everything you can think of, every aspect of your life. You need to love yourself. For you to be an achiever, you need to trust yourself that I can do this, I can achieve this. No matter what the next person is saying, no matter what I'm being told about being able to achieve this, I know I can, whether people stand by me or not. Self-love gives you strength. And in the world that we live in today, you need strength. You need that confidence to go on, to move to where you want to. When you have self-love, you will not want to be treated, in a very degrading way. You will not settle for insults. That's the truth, because you love yourself so much that you won't settle for bullshit. Celebrate your little wins. When you love yourself, every step you take is a win. Every positive step that you take, you achieve, is a win. Celebrate your little wins. Don't wait until it's big, it's out there, because the truth is sometimes, even when you get to that big stage, you always want to criticize yourself. You always want to undermine yourself. You always want to think, oh, I have not done enough. So celebrate every little win. And when you celebrate every little win, you will appreciate yourself. You will appreciate your triumph. You will appreciate your successes. And that's how you also relate the same wins, the same celebration to your friend, to your neighbor, to your sister, to that struggling person that you know out there. That's the truth. Self-love also means being able to give yourself the best. I mean, sometimes I laugh when some ladies say, oh, I don't have a boyfriend who can take me out. What can you do for yourself? What can you do to make yourself happy? Have you tried taking yourself out? Give yourself a treat. Come on, you don't need a guy to take you out or shopping to make you happy. If you have the money, take yourself out, go shopping, eat the best things you want to eat, wear the best things you want to wear, go to the best places you want to go. That means you love yourself and that you don't need to wait for someone to do that for you. You can do it for yourself. This is something that needs to be taught to everyone. We need to know this. We need to teach it to our children, to our loved ones out there, because they need to hear this. In our schools, they need to hear this. In our environments, in our little social gatherings, everyone needs to hear that they need to love themselves. It's not a crime to love yourself, sister. It's not a crime to do something good for yourself. No. On the contrary, you're doing it so you can do it for someone else. And I hope that we will, from this day henceforth, try as much as possible to love yourself. Because only then can we love our neighbor genuinely.
I can't keep up, so much is spinning around me.